November 17th, 2022. You step off the plane into the suffocating desert heat of Doha. You are arriving not as challengers, but as conquerors. The Argentine national team has not lost a match in 36 games. 3 years of pure, terrifying dominance. The media is calling you unstoppable. The fans are already planning the parade. But inside the inner circle, you know the truth. The empire's bleeding before the war even begins. You aren't staying in a 5-star luxury palace like the Europeans. You are locked inside the concrete walls of Qatar University. A fortress chosen for one specific reason, so the men can eat traditional asado, isolate themselves from the noise, and build a brotherhood away from the cameras. You smell the charcoal burning in the courtyard. You hear the laughter, but behind the smiles there is a suffocating anxiety. The physical toll of the European leagues is catching up. The omens are bad. Just days before the tournament, Giovanni Lo Celso, the tactical heart of the midfield, is ruled out entirely. Then Nico Gonzalez and Joaquin Correa break down in training. You watch them pack their bags in the dark. You have to send them home. The flawless machine is fracturing, and hovering over everything is a ghost that no one dares to speak about. The ghost of the Maracana in 2014, the lost finals of 2015 and 2016. You look at your captain, he's 35 years old. The gray is showing in his beard. This is it, the final crusade. If he fails here, the shadow of Diego Maradona will haunt him forever. You think you are marching toward a coronation. You don't realize you are walking into a slaughterhouse. November 22nd. The illusion shatters. For the first 45 minutes against Saudi Arabia, you think you are in control. You score early. You put the ball in the net 3 more times, only for the offside flag to raise each time. A false sense of security wraps around the team. Then the second half begins. 5 minutes of madness. 2 Saudi Arabian strikes that defy logic. You don't just lose the match, you are humiliated. The unbeaten streak burns to ashes in 90 minutes. The world is laughing. The media is already writing the obituaries, calling it the greatest upset in World Cup history. You walk down the tunnel. You sit on a cold bench in the catacombs of the stadium. The air smells of sweat, deep freeze, and absolute terror. You look across the room at the greatest player in history. He is staring at the floor, perfectly still. If you lose the next game, the dream of 36 years dies in the desert. How do you look these men in the eyes and tell them to fight? For 4 days, the walls of the Qatar University base camp feel like a prison. Nobody speaks. The silence in the dining hall is deafening. You can feel the weight of 45 million people back home, a country battered by economic collapse, begging for just one moment of salvation. They aren't just asking for a trophy, they are asking for a reason to smile. It's time for Mexico. The instruction from Lionel Scaloni is simple: win or you're dead. For the first 60 minutes, it is not a football match, it is a street fight. It's ugly, brutal, and suffocating. The Mexicans defend like their lives depend on it, kicking, fouling, disrupting. You are standing on the touchline, watching the stadium clock tick. 61 minutes, 62 minutes, 63 minutes. The anxiety is paralyzing. Your chest feels tight. And then the ball finds him, a pocket of space outside the box, a swing of the left boot. The stadium erupts. The curse is broken. The sound is like a physical shockwave hitting the bench. You watch grown men collapse into tears. Assistant coach Pablo Aimar is hyperventilating next to you, hiding his face in his hands, completely broken by the stress. Enzo Fernandez curls in a second goal. The whistle blows. In that exact second, the terror vanishes. The monster is woken up. You grind through Poland. You survive a terrifying last-second scare against Australia, where your goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez, makes a miraculous block in the 97th minute. You are advancing, but the tournament is stripping away your humanity. To win a war, you cannot just be artists. You must become assassins. The quarterfinal, the Netherlands. The media has painted you as the villains. Dutch manager Louis van Gaal disrespects your captain in the press, claiming Messi does nothing when he doesn't have the ball. You see the fire ignite in the locker room. This is no longer a match. It is deeply personal. You go up 2-0. You think the war is won, but history demands suffering. The Dutch abandon their philosophy. They send giant forwards onto the pitch and launch long balls into the box. It is pure chaos. In the 101st minute, with the very last kick of regular time, they run a trick free kick. Wout Weghorst scores 2-2. The collapse feels inevitable. You look at the players as they gather before extra time, expecting to see fear, expecting to see the ghosts of the past returning to haunt them. Instead, you see pure rage. They don't want to survive. They want blood, penalties. You stand shoulder to shoulder with the squad in the center circle. You look at your goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez. He doesn't look nervous. He looks like a predator. He thrives in the darkness. He saves the first 2 Dutch penalties, dancing in front of the crowd, breaking the minds of the European kickers. Lautaro Martinez seals it. You watch your captain, Lionel Messi, walk straight over to the Dutch bench. He cups his ears in the iconic Topo Gigio pose, staring dead into the eyes of Louis van Gaal. The polite, quiet Messi is gone. The spirit of Maradona has possessed him entirely. You destroy Croatia in the semifinal. It is a masterclass. You are one step away from immortality. December 18th, the final, France. Scaloni plays a masterstroke, starting Angel Di Maria on the left. For 78 minutes, you are witnessing absolute perfection. It is a tactical slaughter. You are destroying the defending world champions. They haven't even registered a shot on target. You look up at the scoreboard, 2-0. You start doing the math in your head. 12 minutes left. The bench is smiling. Players are hugging. You can already hear the songs echoing through the streets of Buenos Aires. You can see the gold, but the football gods are cruel. They demand a final, agonizing sacrifice. Nicolas Otamendi makes a split-second mistake. Penalty to France. Kylian Mbappe scores. You tell yourself it's okay, just hold on for 10 minutes. But exactly 97 seconds later, the ball drops out of the sky. Mbappe volleys it with terrifying power. 2-2, you cannot breathe. The stadium spins around you. The bench is frozen in horror. The ghost of 36 years of failure is suddenly standing right behind you, whispering that it's happening again. The trauma of the lost finals in Brazil and Chile and the United States crashes into the stadium all at once. It is a psychological nightmare. Extra time. Messi forces the ball over the line, 3-2. The stadium explodes again. Surely this is it. Surely destiny will not deny him twice. A shot strikes an Argentine arm. Another penalty. Mbappe scores again, 3-3. It is a torture chamber. The absolute dying seconds of the World Cup. The ball drops perfectly over the defense. French striker is completely alone, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Time slows down to an excruciating crawl. You close your eyes. You prepare for the end of the world. You prepare for a lifetime of regret. But you hear sound, a brutal, hollow thud of leather hitting flesh. You open your eyes. Dibu Martinez has stretched his left leg across eternity. He has made the greatest save in the history of the sport. He has saved the empire from burning. Penalties again. But this time, there is no fear, only destiny. France misses twice. Gonzalo Montiel, a boy from the poorest neighborhoods of Argentina, walks up to the spot. If he scores, you are immortal. You look from the center circle. You look at Messi. He's looking up at the sky, whispering a prayer to his late grandmother. Montiel kicks the ball. The net bulges. He scores. You collapse onto the grass. The sheer weight of 36 years evaporates into the desert night air. The screaming of 80,000 people sounds like distant thunder. You watch Lionel Messi sink to his knees, immediately surrounded by his brothers buried under a pile of tears and sweat. The boy from Rosario has finally conquered the world. You walk toward the podium. You look at the gold reflecting in his eyes as he lifts the trophy into the sky. The suffering, the injuries, the ridicule, the lost finals, the brutal street fights. It was all necessary. It was the exact temperature of fire required to forge a crown. You were there. You survived the longest month in history, and you witnessed the exact moment a man became a myth.